Hello, goodbye, and hello again. Welcome back to Drifter Carbon and to another Minecraft texture pack review. Today we're having a look at the Neon City Mashup pack by goe-craft, and we're mostly going to be focused on the texture pack as usual. I may pop into the world for a few minutes to see what that's like as well, but we're mostly concerned with the textures. This is currently 660 Minecraft coins, and it was like 58 megabytes, I think, of a download. So definitely not the most expensive mashup pack that I've seen, but we'll see how the quality holds up. It says, "Welcome to Neon City, the most luxurious city on Neon Planet. Time to enjoy city life that's out of this world. Time to enjoy city life that's out of this world." Okay, the phrasing of that sounded a little strange, but anyway, full HD texture pack, deep sci-fi experience, futuristic motorcycles, race cars, modern city, custom furniture, mobs and custom models, galactic sky, animated blocks, 11 robotic HD skins, and perfect for survival, PvP, and creative city building. And it has been updated for version 1.21.62 was the last time that this was updated as of the time of this video. A lot of the things in this description are mostly relating to things that are in the world, because as always, if you don't know how mashup packs work, it's not an add-on. You can't add it to any world that you want. You can add the texture pack, but not the extra features like the cars and stuff. But let's scroll down here and look at the avatars. Kind of going for a different look with these, I guess. Not necessarily to my tastes, but you know, they fit the theme. And there's a couple of repeats that are just different colored versions of the same, you know, avatar. So you're not getting a ton of different avatars here, but that's okay. I've noticed that something seems to be wrong with the community ratings menu, because like every pack that I've looked at just has the meters all the way full. Like there's infinite 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 star reviews. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I don't know if that's an issue with mine or if that's an issue with Minecraft right now, but this seems to be a well-liked pack. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on into the review world. If you haven't seen one of these before, I show off all the textures and then I give my final thoughts. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, here we are in the texture pack review world. Yeah, there's no 3D models on the things in buckets in this world. I had that in my inventory in case that showed up again. Also, like when you pull up your menu here, for some reason, certain objects in your hand are huge, which is an issue I've seen happen in a couple of different texture packs now. So other than that, the UI is, they went with kind of a gray texture here, and they have drawings for, hold on, let me get this out of my hand. They have drawings for the you know, icons for the different equipment slots and stuff, but other than that, pretty basic UI. But let's look at things that grow. We have the different trees. We do have this has been updated since the Pale Garden stuff was added, which is nice. I'm glad I waited to review this one until they did their most recent update. But these are some interesting little baby trees. They almost look like they're all firefly bushes. They've all got that little sparkly berries or something on all of the leaf and baby tree textures. Here's the mushrooms. That's kind of a different looking mushroom there. That's kind of interesting and weird. Those are fun. Here we have the pumpkins and carved jack-o'-lanterns. Very different looking pumpkin. Here we have the other crops and whatnot. There's the bushes in the background there. Are these custom, or were these may have been more recent than the pack was updated? I'm not entirely sure. But these look like the default textures to me. I may be wrong on the little flowers, but there's definitely some. Yeah, it almost looks like they. I'm not. It almost looks like it's got some. Like, you know, when you're using Photoshop or whatever and you accidentally get some stray pixels on the outside of your image that you're selecting with like the lasso tool or whatever, it's almost giving me that kind of a vibe. Some jaggies and whatnot too on the flowers, but I guess that's part of their style. I'm not saying that that's what's happening here. I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of. Certainly. Yeah, I don't think this was updated since the latest update, but that would be kind of a big ask, I guess, because that just came out. But I think these trees are decent enough. Let's look at all of this stuff. Pale moss carpet climbs up walls. Yes, yes. Cool to see a pack that's got pale garden stuff. Okay, let's fly up a little bit. Here's the logs and planks. Decent looking trees. Looks like there's a few different textures on the logs. So they're not all identical to each other. There's your planks. It's looking like there's not variations within the plank textures. Some texture packs have more than one texture for certain textures. Here's dirt, sand, gravel, and moss. That's kind of a different texture there. The suspicious sand and suspicious gravel. You can tell the difference between regular and suspicious if you're looking carefully and you know what to look for. Especially on the sand, not a little less so on the gravel, but you know, there's the sandstone. Got some carved sandstone there. Here's stone and stuff. Got a very vibrant crying obsidian there. These are decent enough. Polished stone. Some fun textures there. Like I think that's kind of a pretty block. Cobblestones. Bricks. That's interesting. That's kind of different. Well, it is like a, you know, neon cyberpunk style texture pack. I'm sure we'll see more things that are in line with that theme later on. Bricks, stone blocks, etc. Yep. Very different vibe to most of the texture packs that we've looked at. Glass. We do have a lot of variety on the glass. Very nice. Love to see it. A lot of these are, you know, got a lot going on. They're very busy. The clear glass should be easy enough to see through, so that shouldn't be a problem for the mobs and glass containers that I've got later on. We'll look at when we're in the mob section. But these are fun. Always nice to see some textured glass. Wool. Very strong texture on the wool. Concrete powder. Concrete. Oh, we have another pack with different designs for each of the concrete. That's nice. Always a plus when you've got, you know, some bonus textures, some extra you know, because this a lot of the time the concrete is all just one texture in different colors, but they've actually done something unusual there. Terracotta, glazed terracotta, very sci-fi theme on all of these. The ore, it does look like these are pretty readable. Good. Kind of a little strange that there's kind of a glow around each of the ore, but you know, I guess that makes it easier to see. Nether ore, deep slate ore. Might have a little bit of a hard time with the deep slate coal, but other than that, that's fine. Here's the amethyst. Very strong outlines on the amethyst there. Random lonely magma block. It is animated. We have wet and dry sponge. You can definitely tell the difference. Light sources. They did some fun different shapes to the torches, which is nice. And the lanterns glow. Here we have some custom bulbs. And campfires. And miscellaneous light sources. Cool. Here's the signs. Looks like the default text. The default font. Which is good because that's easy to read at least. And the pattern in the background doesn't interfere with the readability of the signs too much. Here's hanging signs. They're most of these are I guess there's actually a few different patterns on these, so they're not all identical to each other. Monster spawner. They put in some effort in this pack so far. Fences and gates. I'm not necessarily personally a huge fan of the aesthetics of some of the stuff, but I'm sure it looks fine in the world that comes with it. Here's diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. Iron block. And I think most of this would still be usable in a normal world. Raw copper, gold, and iron. Here's a lodestone. Different looking lodestone there. Prismarine. That's kind of cool. Interesting look for the prismarine there. The slime block looks different. It's not as green today. Honey, hay bale, bone block, colorful bone block there. Here's quartz. Nice to see some different patterns on the quartz. The copper. Very bright ladder. Let's look at doors. Okay. So good to see the new copper and pale oak doors have nice designs to them as well. Here's the other doors. These are fun and on point with the theme. Most of them. Trapdoors. Guess you could use these to make couches, but they'd be very sci-fi. I guess that's the point. But you know, they could be arms for couches, most of them. Here's bookcases, etc. Doesn't look like there's more than one bookcase. Just one bookcase. The enchanting table. Very bright top of the enchanting table there. Here's beds. It's just one texture and they changed the colors. Here's crafting tables and villager job tables. And the crafter in the background there. I guess you can tell what some of these tables are supposed to be. Like, obviously, this is the fletching table, right? Because it's got arrows on it. But in the crafting table, this looks very similar to the crafting table. It's just a different color scheme. And the crafter is just the crafting table, but with a extra thing on the front. Here's the furnaces, very sci-fi furnaces. The anvil, you can definitely tell how damaged your anvil is in this pack. That's good. Cauldrons. Here's lava and a potion cauldron. Nice animation on the potion. The chests. Oh, you can tell which one the trap chest is, though. Barrels, jukebox and note block. Empty armor stand, beacon, bell, iron bars. Kind of a dark theme on the bell there. Let's look at paintings, and all of these are custom, so we'll zoom out so we can see them all. Lots of like neon sign type paintings. Interesting. Very different from what we're used to seeing. So if you're looking for a different aesthetic, I guess this pack fits the bill. There you go. So some of those are pretty fun. If we're making like a cyberpunk city or whatever, then having like open signs and stuff is a nice touch. There's item frames. Here's rails. You can definitely tell which ones the custom rails are. That's kind of a different vibe to the rails there, where they're just like glowing metal bars instead of or like neon bars or tubes that your carts are hovering along on, I guess. Here's the mine carts. Yeah, like they don't have wheels. They're just hovering along or sliding along on the rails. There's a sheep and a minecart. We'll look at the mobs later. Redstone stuff. Very futuristic, appropriately enough. Here's pottery. Interesting pattern there on the default pot. Yeah, and they have some fun icons and stuff. They kind of put their own spin on a lot of the default pottery sherd designs. Good to see. Scaffolding. Banners have circuitry on them. Here's the boats. It's look like there's some Z fighting going on even when the boat is just by itself on the paddles. A lot of texture going on the wood of the boats. Here's Tough. That's kind of a fun design here. These are kind of almost remind me of some of the patterns you see on marble sometimes, but on Tough instead. There's the trial chamber. Here's the vault. It does open and close. Nice to see animated vault there. Here's the resin. The different, that's what the resin looks like on different surfaces. There you go. Not a huge fan of the look of the resin, but, you know, at least it's here. There's the target. Here's the mob heads. Cool. Looks like there's going to be some interesting mobs later. And the dragon egg. Okay, let's jump back. All right, so custom armors. It's looking like these are all the same geometry for the armor, actually. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing, given that they put in some extra effort on a lot of things in this pack, or some things at least. The like the swords are all the same, just different colors. Yeah, so some corners were definitely cut. Here's the elytra and the shield. There's a diamond pattern on the shield there. But, you know, I guess they're sci-fi enough. I would have liked to have seen some different sci-fi, cyberpunk, neon type, you know, armors. Would have been more fun. Here's the different tools, different weapons. There you go. Let's look at armor trims. Yeah, oh, before I forget, let me set off some items. But we're going to, here in a moment, we're going to look at amethyst armor trims on iron armor. But let me stick something else in your hand there so that you don't aren't blocking the thing next to you. Pop in here real quick, grab another mob in a bucket. Where are those? There we go. I don't need 2 wind charges. But yeah, throw a snowball. This is what throwing a snowball looks like in this pack. Here's setting off a firework. Oh yeah, you can see the sky as well. The sun is kind of different, and there's a texture to the skybox. And we do have a custom wind charge. There you go. That's what that looks like. All right. Here is, like I said, amethyst armor trims on iron armor. Does look like they have custom designs, which is nice. So there you go. I guess if you want your armor to look different, you just use armor trims. I mean, that's always the case, but I just mean, you know, they only had one geometry for the armor, but there's lots of different armor trims, and I think these are nice. They're fun. Cool. Yeah, those are all nice. Here's items, starting with weapons and tools. I guess there are a couple of different kinds of swords and stuff, but you know, it's mostly the everything's the same except for the netherite. Same with the rest of the tools. But these are decent, and they look all right in the hand. Here's other various tools and items. The compass is kind of wigging out a little bit there. It shakes on certain frames of the animation. I'm not sure how they messed that up, but that's not the first time I've seen that happen. Here is horns and horse armor, potions. Here's different foods. These are all good. You know, I think these are cute enough icons. Yeah, so the fish are kind of, you know, cybernetic as well. Here's music discs, things in buckets. Here's minerals, various miscellaneous items. There's the eggs. You know, the warm and cold mobs are too new for this pack. But other than that, most of the items have been represented by the pack. Let's go ahead and fly over here. Here's what a couch or a bench would look like. Here's a water cooler. Here's the nether portal. Very fast moving animation on the nether portal there. Let's look at some mobs. Okay, mob time. Here's the chickens. Pretty similar to default looking chicken there. That chicken just laid an egg. Warm and cool chickens are not custom. Here's the bee. Hold on. Get a better look at the bee. There you go. He's got different pattern on his wings. The cows. Hello, cows. You're looking pretty close to default as well. Same thing with the pigs. So, yeah, that's kind of disappointing. These mobs may in fact be default. I wonder if the recent addition of the warm and cold variants messed something up or something with like texture packs and stuff. I don't know, but it's either that or they just didn't bother to make custom versions of these mobs, but they should update it either way. It looks like the sheep are custom, at least. Yeah, the sheep look totally different from these mobs, so I'm thinking that's just default. Well, obviously it's default because they would look dramatically different otherwise. Here's the wolf and the wolf and wolf armor. Fun looking cyborg animals. Yeah, the polar bear, same story. He looks like he's got a printer on his back. Here's the ocelot. Yeah, I'm not sure if the default cow and so forth is a Minecraft problem or a texture pack problem. Here's the cats. Lots of different patterns on the cats. Those are fun. The mushroom. Here's the bat. Very circuit-like bat. And the parrots. There you go. Some fun different mobs today. Here's the rabbits. They're just different colors of each other. The llama. Yeah, it looks like there's more than one pattern for the llama. That's nice. Love to see it. Love to see some variations. Here's the horses. So you're getting some variety in the sci-fi mobs. Nice. Horses and horse armor. Here's the donkey and the mule. You can definitely tell the difference between them today. Some packs, they're very similar to each other, just slightly different color or whatever. The skeleton horse. And the zombie horse. Let's look at some aquatic mobs. We are going to have to jump in the water. It's very pink water as well. Not so much when you're underwater, but from the surface it looks pink. Here's the tropical fish. Here is the cod. Cyber cod. Here's the puffer fish. And they will puff up for us when we get close now. Kind of a strange looking puffer fish, but fun. The salmon, yes, I pronounce it wrong on purpose. These mobs are not necessarily the prettiest mobs that we've seen, but they are fun and they're thematically appropriate. Here's a dolphin. That's a fun dolphin. We have a sea turtle. And a panda. Cute panda. The fox. Hello, fox. You have like just a band for eyes. Or like Geordi's visor from Star Trek The Next Generation. Here's a creeper, and it does have custom geometry, so we are seeing some mobs do have custom geometry. Nice. Go out here to see an Enderman. Wherever they got off to. There you are. Come here, Enderman. They're just getting farther and farther from the rest of the world out here. Stay put. Hey. We'll get a better look at them later, but that's what the Endermen look like. I'm way out from where I need to be now. Here's the, that's a kind of a different looking silverfish. Totally different vibe to the spines on it. It's like little antennas or something, or little satellites. Here's a skeleton. Nice custom geometry on the skeleton. Got little bony fingers there, and that's fun. I like the look of these mobs. Wither skeleton, stray. These are all fun. Here's the slime. Does the slime have a face? Not really. Spider and cave spider. Ooh, these guys have custom geometry. It is the same geometry, but at least it's custom. So that's cool. Very, robo spider. The zombie and the bogged look nice and different from their default selves. Come on, turn over this way, not spider, zombie. Look over here. Ah, there you go. Okay. Cool. The husk. That's fun. Another Enderman in the background there, but here's the drowned. Looks like a cyberpunk version of like a scuba suit. Like an old school bell helmeted scuba suit. Here's the squid and glow squid. That's the regular squid and that's the glow squid. One assumes. Cool. Ooh, the witch has kind of a very different aesthetic. That's cool. Guardian and Elder Guardian. I'm gonna have to jump in the tank with them. Get a better look at them. They are very different. They're not like custom geometry, I don't think, but they have a nice aesthetically different look to them. The the Endermite had a little bit of a brain fart there. Here is the magma cube. It looks like a block of lava. The strider, come over here before the strider gets in the lava so we could see. Oh, we saw it for a couple of seconds, for like a second there. Oh, there we go. And you can see what he looks like out of the lava too. They're just red or blue depending on when they're in lava. Here's the Zoglin, the zombified Hoglin. It is zombified and it is cybernetic. Look at the face a little better there. Zombie piglin. And the zombie piglin brute. Here is the goat. That's like the most different that the goat has looked in a while. Most packs the goats look pretty close to default. There's the axolotls. Looks like they're mostly the same from each other. I mean, there's definitely a different aesthetic going on here, but just like one pattern. Just some of them are glowing different colors. The allay. Very, like their wings are made of wires. The frog. Where are you, frog? Frog is underwater. Come out, frog. We can't see you well enough, frog. Jump out. There you go. That's what the frog looks like. Try to get him from the front. There you go. That's the frog. The wandering trader and their llamas. What? Whoa. Wait a second. Hold on a second, folks. What's going on with the wandering trader? Something's very off about the wandering trader. I think that's not functional. I don't think that's not working. Something's gone wrong there. Unless that's supposed to be some sort of weird robot with no limbs and like a face on its shoulder. It's like that's face texture right there. And it's rendering, yeah, that's broken. Oh boy. Okay. Y'all should fix that. Here's the camel. The blaze. Doesn't, yeah, it does have a face to it, but it's just kind of a visor. The ghast. That's cool. A shulker. Oh, okay, it does have eyes. You just have to be at the right angle to see it. The Vindicator and Evoker. There you go. They're very similar to each other. Let's look at villagers. How many villager faces are we going to have? A couple, but they're very simple faces. There you go. Yeah, we got a few different faces here. That's nice to see at least. Like four different faces, or five different faces actually. So it's good to see some, you know, differences in the villagers, even if they're pretty similar to each other and don't have a ton of variety in their clothing. It's looking like their clothes may all actually be the same. They're just, are they different? Yeah, there's different patterns on their shirts or whatever, but very, very similar to each other in terms of the clothing. Here's the zombie villager. Phantom. At least we're seeing consistent theming and consistent aesthetics throughout the pack. The villager. I'm sorry, the pillager. The ravager. Get over here and look at the ravager better. It looks like this theme's version of the ravager. Nothing too wildly different there. The Iron Golem, on the other hand, is wildly different. That's interesting. That's fun. How you can tell how damaged he is as well, which is good. You always lose points if you can't tell how damaged your golem is. Here's the snow golem and snow golem with its pumpkin carved off. Fun face on the non-pumpkin snow golem there. But I this is one of the highlights of the mobs for sure. Here's the sniffer. There's circuitry designs in the sniffer. And the armadillo. Always good to see a custom armadillo. Custom pattern, at least. Not so much geometry, but, you know, big eyes on them. Big, cute eyes. Here's the warden. That's fun. It's got kind of its, you know, ghosty motif, pulsating heart motif on its face instead of its chest in this pack. Come over here and look at the breeze. The breeze looks like. Cool, cool. And of course the wither. Look over this way, wither. There you go. That's what the wither looks like. And the creaking, one of very few custom creakings that we've seen so far. Custom texture, that is. Not so much custom geometry, but, you know. Cool, cool. Okay. I do like the mobs in this pack. They're decent. Not the most detail on some of them. I mean, they've all got a pattern to them, but, you know. Oh, excuse me. I'm just stretching. Oh, goodness. Big stretch. All right. Let's go check out the nether. What I meant by what I was saying a second ago was, what I was trying to say was it's kind of low resolution on a lot of the textures. It's not one of those packs that has like a 100 and whatever X texture pack. It's just, I guess this is like 32 or something, or maybe even 16, I don't know, but Um, you know, that's not everything needs to be super high resolution. Here's the hoglins. Oh, excuse me, the regular hoglins. Hoglins? Hoglins. Sorry. Tripping over my words. Here's the respawn anchor, and it has an animation on it. That's cool. That's nice. That looks very similar to the, I guess they just reused the nether portal animation on the respawn anchor, but nice to see the lit up respawn anchor have something special to it. Here's the piglins. Look over this way, piglin. Like to see the differences between your outfits. They are different from each other. Wow, he really does not want to face me today. There we go. That's better. Yeah, cool. Cool. Nice to see more than one hoglin. I'm sorry, piglin. Fly over here and get another look at the ghasts. That's what the ghasts look like without the glass in the way, or the cage in the way. Cool. And we'll fly over this way. Yeah, so you know, so far I'm thinking this is a pretty fun pack. Here's what the trees look like in the nether. I always try to show off this biome as well, because it's got some textures that I don't have in the overworld, like these leaves here and stuff, and some of the vines and whatnot. Okay, let's go check out the Stronghold Below template world. All right, here we are in the Stronghold Below template world. If you want to create a world very similar to this one, with a stronghold right about here in this village that you start out either in or near. Just when you're creating a new world, go to next to where you input your seed. There's a button you can click that shows you the different templates, and they're just essentially seeds that Minecraft has picked out that have features or whatever that people have found that are favorable features. Did we see this cat before? This may be a different cat from the ones we saw in the other world. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's have a quick look around at the overworld here. Here's what villager houses look like. I think that's fine. That looks, you know, looks nice. Very similar. Would maybe like to see a little bit more of a difference in the color between the different woods here, but you know, looks nice from the front at least, because you got the texture of the end of the log as well. Here's a compost bin. Oh, these villagers look different because they're no. Okay, I guess there's just more than one. There are some villagers that are different, apparently. Let's see if we can find another one and see if he's different. There's one all the way out here. What do you look like? Okay, you're just that one again. Okay. Let's quickly fly over. This, by the way, this is what the frozen water and ice look like. Gonna fly over this way. Got some like purple or dark blue leaves here. Interesting. Wanted to look at the cobweb texture. There you go. That's what that looks like. And hold on. We're okay. We were farther away this time than usual. Here's what the ruin portal looks like. And let's go ahead and jump on down into the stronghold. Once we get back over here. Almost made it in the hole. There we go. I did fill in that hole at some point. There was a hole in this hallway for the longest time. This is what a monster spawner with a monster in it looks like. Let's do some effects and stuff. Hold on. It helps if I throw it somewhere you can see it. So that's what those particles look like. No custom animation on the food. Drink a potion of strength so you can see the swirlies. Pretty close to default swirlies there. The goat horn looks fine. Sounds the same. Kind of a fun crossbow. I like the crossbow. Go ahead and reload that, 'cause that's an animation. And all right, let's get this portal finished. Kind of a cool purpley and blue portal there. Okay, here we are in the end. Let's go ahead and check out the end void is very different in this one. It's like TV static. I guess it's usually that way, but it's usually very dark static instead of white static. Here's the Endermen again. Better look at them. There you go. Oh, T-posing dragon. Yeah, it renders into low detail version of the model first. Here's what the end crystal looks like. And then here is the Ender Dragon. Let's get a better look at them. There you go. Pretty decent looking Ender Dragon. It's kind of a, same geometry as default, but different aesthetic to it. A much lighter color scheme. Like with the circuitry and stuff on the wings. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this pack? Well, I think that this is a pretty decent pack, pretty good pack. They definitely went above and beyond. They got some bonus points for things like having the different textures for the different concrete and stuff. They had some extra textures tossed in that made it a little more special, and there was some custom 3D geometry. I feel like the overall quality of the textures is kind of middling. It's not the prettiest texture pack I've reviewed, certainly. But they did get some bonus points, but they also had some downsides that are hopefully going to get fixed at some point. Because some of the mobs weren't working. Like the merchant was definitely messed up, and some of the farm animals, the pig and the cow and the chicken and so forth, were just the default models. I mean, default textures. So something went awry there, and hopefully they'll get that fixed at some point. But for now, I'm probably going to go with like a 3.5 because of some of the issues that the pack has right now. It would have been a 4 if it weren't for some of the mob issues it's having. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, leave it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And I am going to check out the pack, the world that comes with the Mashup pack, but I may do that in a separate video because I feel like we've probably gone on a little long at this point. I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and I'll record it, and if it's in the video, then great, and I'll see you in a second. Or if it's not in this video, then it'll be its own separate video, depending on how long I actually play it for. All right, well, thanks for joining me. Peace. Okay, this is the world that comes with the Neon City Mashup pack, and I'm in creative mode just for ease of transport. There's also, they do give you elytras. I guess we can go ahead and put one of those on, might as well. Not probably going to need it since we're in creative mode, but some other things in chests here, some leaves for some reason, iron chest plate, various other things. There's a stained glass panes as well. Not sure what those are. Why those are in a chest. There's also some other various things. We'll take the ingots with us just in case we have a use for those, like if they're currency or something. All right. So as you can see, there is a decent sized world. It's kind of small, I would actually say. It's not super huge. Once you get down onto the ground level, it probably looks a lot better. A lot bigger, I would imagine. Yeah, so it's a decent sized world. And it's got a bunch of sci-fi buildings and stuff. Decent construction on the models. Agricultural district is that way. I guess we'll go that way first. What were some of the other options? Hold on. Industrial district. What's in this chest? A bunch of stuff. Sea lanterns. Oh, we got a motorcycle. Okay, let's ride the motorcycle. Residential district. This has some of the cooler buildings, so I guess we'll go this way. We have... Oh, he said something. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Oh, leather worker. Okay,
Sir.
this is a
Yes,
leather
sir.
worker.
Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, sir.
Okay.
So they just kind of chatter at all times in this map, apparently.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay. Goodbye, sir.
Well, at least it's different from just the normal NPC noises, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure what there is to do in this map. I guess you just explore the city and try to survive if you're not in creative like
Sir.
I am. This guy a vendor?
Sir.
Enchanter. Okay, so he sells for
Yes,
emeralds.
sir.
He sells potions.
Yes, sir. Goodbye, sir.
I sure like to say goodbye, sir. What's this? Hold on.
Sir.
Okay, that's just trash. Go over this way. Oh, there's another vehicle. It probably controls much the same as the motorcycle did, but I assume slower.
Error.
Ah,
Okay.
here's another car, or here's a car, I should say, not another car.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Goodbye,
Yep,
sir.
they control pretty much how you'd expect them to.
Goodbye,
But I think
sir.
we can get around faster on our own, on flying. So there's quite a few residential homes here, or residential buildings. Let's go to a different part of town. There's this big building over here. What's in here? It's like a cafe or a restaurant. One assumes.
Okay.
Can I order something? I have to come behind the counter if I want to order something.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay, he doesn't actually
Yes,
do
sir.
anything. All right.
Yes,
There's like
sir.
I saw in
Goodbye,
the
sir.
inventory. There's a couple of things.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, that does dispense water.
Sir.
Interesting. Alrighty. And then there's these vending machines. Hold on, empty hand.
Goodbye, sir.
These do anything,
Goodbye,
or
sir.
I guess not.
Goodbye, sir.
Okay, so that doesn't really do anything.
Sir.
That's disappointing.
Okay.
Sir.
Goodbye,
Oh, here we go.
sir.
Here we go. This is an actual vending machine.
Yes,
That-
sir.
also doesn't seem to do anything.
Sir.
Maybe because I'm in creative, but the other vending
Error.
machine worked. So I mean the
Okay.
water cooler did. Oh well. Let's look at the
Error.
inventory
Sir.
here and go all the way down to where the custom items are. Oh, also, they kind of had a cool look for the armor trims here. I thought that
Sir.
was fun. And the sherds. So all keeping it with the theme, but there's a few different motorcycles. There's the bicycle that we rode earlier. There is cars and a couple of vending machine type things and some garbage cans. And a fire hydrant and trash and some pipes and other steampunky
Goodbye,
decorations, and that's pretty much your lot as far as unique assets. There's also
Goodbye,
these like
sir.
security cameras and stuff too. Let's go check out the mall for a second. Oh, that was a mob. Oh, now see, the cow is working in this world, but it wasn't working in the other one. That's weird. I guess I don't know why that is, actually. The cow is bound to the world and not the texture pack, I guess. Oh, this guy's about to get eaten by monsters over here. Stay away from him.
Okay. Yes,
Back
sir.
off, monsters. Well, you're on your own, buddy. Let's check out the mall briefly.
Error.
They've got bookcases. I suppose those might be
Yes, sir.
like supposed to be shelves, store shelves or something. There's a bed shop with a guy floating
Goodbye, sir.
distantly above the bed
Goodbye,
there.
Sir.
I do get tired of hearing goodbye, sir, over and over again. Wondering if there's like music discs hidden in this world like they sometimes do with mashup packs. This appears to be like a racetrack. Yeah. Hold on. I wonder if this has anything special to it, or if you just... Yeah, apparently you can quite easily go off track. And you just, there's motorcycles scattered across the racetrack. Alright. We'll look over here and then we'll stop for now. Or, well, not for now, for good. We're not gonna probably come back to this world. But yeah, this is kind of what you got with the world that comes with this mashup pack. So not terribly exciting of a world. It's kind of, you know, it fits the theme, right? But if you want to get back up to the starting point, I guess you can't if you're in survival mode, unless you die and didn't sleep in a bed or something. All right, we'll see what's in here and then we'll stop. I'm guessing this is like a factory or something. You got your
Yes, sir.
big vats and stuff. Okay, there's
Yes,
the pig.
sir.
So this is what the pig is supposed to look like when it's actually working. Yeah, I don't know why the texture pack doesn't some of the mobs don't show up in the texture pack. Very strange.
Okay.
So yeah, all right. Well, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope this gave you a good feel for what the mashup pack entails. Let's go look at this statue before we go, and then we'll stop. There you go. So this is one of the villagers. Giant model of that guy. The villagers are just getting absolutely destroyed by zombies today. Sucks to be them. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share.